Okay, 8th grade part 2. Now we are on to the CSS coding part. This is what makes our website look pretty and stylish. So when we look at a website, all the fancy features, all the colors, most of that is done through CSS. It is what makes our website and HTML look pretty. It stands for Cascading Style Sheet. And if we want to look at HTML on the left, you've seen this screen, all my tags. And if I look at my CSS, it looks a little different. I don't have tags. I have HTML on the outside, but I have H1, a selector, some open braces, a bunch of words, and it looks much easier to read. And this would be what the website looks like. If I look at my real code on the website that I was showing you, I exit out of this one and I go to my style. I can see here's what CSS looks like. And you can see there's the word body, for instance, just like it was in tags, but no tags around it, that open braces, and then a list of words and information with that. Same here, H3. All of those tags now are outside of the tags and have these squiggle brackets. That's CSS. And let's take a look at our notes. And we can see that it's located, if we're doing internal CSS, on the same page as our HTML. It's located at the top. I can see here in red is my CSS, and my HTML, my body starts down here. So if it's internal on the same page, it's at the top. And sometimes, and most of the time, we do it separately. So when you code your real website, it'll be on a completely separate page. So I'll have a page of CSS code, and then I'll have a separate screen of just HTML, and there will be a link that connects the two. So I'll show you what that looks like in my example. So if I go to my W3 Schools, here's my CSS, my styles page. All of this is CSS code. I can go over here to my index, which is my HTML page. All of this is tags and HTML. And if I look right up here on line 5, there is a style link linking that to talk to the styles sheet. So they talk to each other. And that's how that external link works, so that they can be on separate pages. Okay. So that's when your CSS is external, and that's the most common way. It keeps it all separate. So parts of CSS code. We have 4 parts. We have the selector, which is simply taking one of the tags that you created in your HTML and taking it out of those brackets. So H1, P, body, anything that you make in your HTML can also become a selector. The property, it's what you want to tell the selector to do. So for instance, if I want my heading to be blue, I'm going to say heading color. Okay, or if I want the font size to be something, I'd say H1 font size. I need a value. What is it that I'm setting the color to be? So H1 color, I have to tell it to be something, blue, and that's the value. And then the syntax is all the different symbols. So if we come over to my example page in my website, and we go to my CSS page, we can look at an example of this in practice. We have the H1 right here. It's a selector. And I list anything that I want to do to the H1 here. So H1 color red. Okay. Same thing. If I scroll down my paragraphs, and or actually the body. Body, I want everything on my website, because remember, the body covers the whole website. I want everything colored white. So if I look at my website, all of the text is white. So that makes sense. It reads just like that. If I look at another example, I have an image with a border. So image with a border of 13, it's solid green. And if I come over and look at my website and scroll down to that image, I have a border around that image that is solid green, and it's 13 pixels wide. So that's kind of how you read CSS. Selector, property, and value. with that syntax in there. And so if we want to look exactly at that syntax, I've got the selector. We'll do the H1 again. Selector is H1. What tag am I talking about? The brackets. Color is the property. The value is red. And then I close the brackets. And then in between here, I have a colon and a semicolon as my syntax. Okay. And making that full screen again. And we can point those things out right in an example. You can have a selector for every single tag you have in your HTML. So I could have one for body, H1, and P right here. So selector, property, value. And I can have a bunch of properties listed. I can have everything I want to do to the H1 in that selector. I only make one selector per tag. So I'd have one H1 selector and I'd list everything that I want to fix about it. It should kind of like read like a sentence. I always say like the selectors who you're asking for in your house. So mom is the person I'm choosing to talk to. The property is the thing I want from mom. So it's like dinner, mom, dinner. The value is what I'm asking her for. So mom, dinner, spaghetti. And then all the syntax is like the please and thank you. So if I looked at this, paragraph is like mom, please, dinner, spaghetti, thank you. It's kind of how I look at CSS. And here's just one more example highlighting each thing and color coding it for you about what it looks like. And that's your CSS. So you can go ahead and take your CSS quiz. Once you finish your CSS quiz, if you have extra time, you can go work on the lesson in code.org. Simply log into code.org using your Google account, and you have a reminder lesson, a review lesson with Anna and Elsa to code, reminding you of block coding one more time before we switch to typing out code. So remember, when you get to code.org, continue with Google when you click sign in. So sign in, continue with Google, and then the Anna and Elsa lesson will be on your dashboard when you get there. So if you go to My Dashboard at the top of your screen in that blue bar, all the way at the top, My Dashboard, the Anna and Elsa lesson will be on your dashboard. And then that is what you can wrap up class with. Thank you and have a great day.